Hello everybody, this is Vince Smith here, the Multiglot, with advice on effective language learning. Now just a brief background for those viewers who might not be familiar with me or my channel. My name is Vince Smith, and I started learning languages at a very young age. Desde cuando yo vivía en México a la edad de 6 años. Então, ao longo dos anos, eu comecei a aprender muitas outras línguas, como português. В средней школе я встретил студентов, которые жили на российском комплексе, то есть в русском посольстве, и я тогда начал изучать русский язык. Pracoval jsem 17 let jako překladatel pro nadaci centrálního a východoevropského umění a i po slovensky som si pekne naučil rozprávať. Ďakujem Tania a Dušan, ak sa pozeráte. Turklāt esmu starptautiski interpretējis karavīriešiem ārzemēs. Olen kotoisin Washingtonista, mä syntyin täällä. Isäni on amerikkalainen ja äitini on meksikolainen. Ja minä puhun suomea. When I'm out with a group of people speaking various languages at the same time, switching from language to language, I'll get curious people that'll come up to me and they'll ask something simple like, how do you do it? One of the most frequently asked questions that I do get is what advice I would give as to the best method to learn a language. As all of us can agree, the absolute most effective language learning method is, of course, full immersion. And that's basically spending time in a dedicated area where you can be surrounded by speakers of the target language. So, for example, say that you would travel to Thailand to learn Thai. Well, that much is obvious. But what you want to do is to place yourself in a situation where you're dependent on speaking Thai on a constant basis for your everyday needs. If you simply travel to Thailand with your friends, or you go to Thailand and you group up with other English speakers, what happens is that you'll end up spending all of your time speaking English, whereas you're wasting valuable time and minutes that could be learned instead for building vocabulary and learning Thai. In this video, I'm not going to get into too many details about language immersion. I'm not going to be speaking about tutoring or courses. What I'm going to do is to give 4 very valuable points of advice. So let's begin. Number 1, relax. Learning is supposed to be fun. If you're stressing out about learning a language, or you don't seem to be retaining the words, or you're worried because you're not seeing the progress that you expected to see, then you need to do something differently altogether. Take a break and come back to it later, or change your learning style. Don't force yourself to meet deadlines, and don't worry about failing an upcoming test. If you worry and stress yourself out, then the experience becomes unenjoyable, and you'll discover that the learning is not as effective. Learn at a pace that is comfortable to you. Number 2, be interested in the language and the culture. Have a willingness to learn. Learn with the expectation that you're eventually going to utilize the language in conversations with native speakers of the language. I can tell you by experience that the topics of conversation with these speakers will most often include some sort of cultural reference. Number 3, this is probably the most daunting task for the learner. Use every possible opportunity to speak the language. You do not have to be fluent in order to do this. Once you've learned enough vocabulary to put a sentence together and use it on someone. Don't be shy. The sooner you can muster the confidence to say that first phrase or to speak that one sentence, the sooner you can get onto the fast track to more effective learning. Your very first conversation with a native speaker or with any speaker in the target language will serve to be a very liberating experience that will facilitate the next step. Number 4, start a network. Make an effort to introduce yourself to speakers of the target language and form together a circle of friends that you can socialize with and practice on a regular basis. Most of the time, people are delighted when someone makes an earnest effort to learn their language. You'll be surprised that these people will be very willing to help you in your endeavors. This social circle that you create will be the next best thing to the full immersion that I just spoke about. And there you have it. If you enjoyed this brief video, please stay tuned for my next video as I will be speaking about effective study habits and resources for learning on your own. Please be sure to click like on this video, leave me comments and whatever questions you want to ask, share away, and of course, subscribe to my channel, The Multiglot. Now here's a special shout out to one of my viewers, Bobby, in Salish. Lenunch islacht nekutne.